Ms. Marvel features a character from Spider-Man No Way Home. And while it's not a major character or anything of that sort, it is an interesting look into the partnership and the deal that Marvel Studios has with Sony and the rights between the universe that they created for Spider-Man in the MCU. Alright guys, so first we're just going to quickly talk about the character that appears in Ms. Marvel, who's from Spider-Man No Way Home, and that's, well, Agent Cleary, the cop right here who also interviewed Peter Parker. Now again, he's in Ms. Marvel. He's playing the same character, a cop. So again, we see that some of those elements from the Spider-Man films are carrying over into the MCU proper, but again, the big question here is, how is this possible? Because Spider-Man Sony, and, well, Sony doesn't even allow Marvel Studios to use Spider-Man in the Marvel Studios logo unless it's a film that includes Spider-Man. So, yeah, how is this happening? Well, let's go over some details that we learned previously, specifically during the fallout of Marvel Studios and Disney versus Sony over Spider-Man after the release of Far From Home. So, the basic story is, any character that's created for the MCU version of Spider-Man is owned by Marvel Studios. And Sony can't just take those characters and go make their own film. So the MJ we have in the MCU cannot appear in anything else that Sony does outside the MCU. This also goes the same way with what they do with their characters from the Sony Universe films. The reason we got a different J. Jonah Jameson to start is because he obviously fits this universe, but it's the same actor. But again, they're restricted and held back by certain people, certain rights and things that have to do with each individual contract and aspect of their own film. So a character like Cleary did appear first and foremost in a Spider-Man film, yes, but he was wholly created by Marvel Studios to appear in that film. So he's a Marvel Studios character, but he first appeared in a Spider-Man film. Now, this would also mean that if Sony wanted to put him in their product, they can't, because he needs to stay in the MCU. And as long as Marvel Studios and Disney have a working relationship, which seems to be an ongoing thing going forward, a character like this cop can appear in any Sony things that they make with Marvel Studios, but also he'll continue to appear as a cop, probably in many projects going forward. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him in Daredevil, or Echo, or wherever else that's more street-level based. So the fact of the matter is, Ms. Marvel being set in this world that has to do with so much going on, it only makes sense that if somebody's looking into super-powered people and identities and things, that he's gonna be involved with Ms. Marvel, because there's already an actor and there's already connective tissue and they can make the world seem more connected, which is what people always wanted, which is what we're finally getting. Now, only if Marvel Studios could truly bring back the biggest MVP of all of Marvel TV, this being Turk.